I want to take some time here because it wasn't where I was planning to go, but I just can't allow my colleagues on the other side to just spew 100% mistruths constantly and then play into the fear of the American people. And I'm just going to start first of all with our national security issues. National security issue one is our national debt, and our national debt is now costing us more to just pay interest than we spend on our military. That's a huge national security risk. And so at what point do we start making cuts? And people want to start talking about cutting 5,400 jobs out of the DOD as a whole when they have 950,000 employees, and we're talking about less than 0.5% of the workforce. Where do we start cutting? We're spending trillions of dollars with agencies that are not unfunded, and you're going to tell me we don't have the ability to cut some employees when underneath the Biden administration it was bloated and there's not room to cut? When a company is going underwater, you do have to take a look at the workforce. I don't want to suggest that our country is going underwater, but if we continue this path, we will. And I commend President Trump and those that he has put in place to actually make hard cuts. Making cuts are difficult. It's tough. But when are we supposed to start if we don't start now? The previous administration wasn't willing to do that. And then, as the senator that just asked questions wanted to bring up the Afghanistan withdrawal, brother, that's very, very close to me. That hits home. And you're going to lay the withdrawal on President Trump and say it was his fault? The disastrous withdrawal came 100% from the Biden administration. And American lives were left behind and are still dying because of it. And Americans' lives were lost during the withdrawal. And you're going to sit there with a straight face and try to say that it was President Trump's fault when the Biden administration, and all of us know this because we were briefed on this, that the Biden administration threw out the entire withdrawal plan that the Trump administration had and decided to go their own way. And man, wasn't that great. And then we're going to start talking about President Trump not calling a bully out like Putin. Do we forget what happened in 2017 when Trump 100% told Russia to stay out of Syria, not to be involved, especially with the bombing of Assad's own people? And when they did, President Trump within 30 minutes took out the airfield that they operated out of, destroyed it, and then took back the airspace. And we had the airspace in Syria all the way up until Biden took office and we gave it back to Putin. Or stand up to a bully. Do we want to go back to Israel and Hamas and discuss the way the Biden administration handled that? And the way they refused to call Hamas a terrorist organization and the Houthis a terrorist organization and Iran a terrorist organization? And you're going to sit there with a straight face and actually say that about President Trump? Are you joking me? Are we serious saying that President Trump isn't willing to stand up to a bully when underneath his administration was the only time that Russia didn't advance into Ukraine? Because he did underneath Obama when they took Crimea, and they did underneath Biden because they didn't respect him because of the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, and every expert will tell you that. So where is it that we're coming up with this other than just plain fear? All I want to do is just stroke fear into the American people and try to divide something between us and the president. Because the president is bringing back hostages. He also brought back a hostage that Biden left behind, and he didn't give up one thing to Russia, including a guy that was highly, highly considered a threat to the world. What was his name? Anybody? What was his nickname? Soleimani. No, not Soleimani. Dr. Death that we decided to trade for. And I'm sure you guys thought that was a good trade. Guys, give me a break. We're trying to advance America's agenda and do what's best for this country, and the American people agree with the direction we're going. So, sir, sorry about going on a rant here because I actually did want to get into your business and the direction that you can take our defense industry. but that couldn't go without answered. And so you and I have already had a conversation. We'll continue the conversation. I look forward to working with you. With that,
Thank you.
I yield back to
Thank you,
Senator.
Senator Mullin.